Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Shiketsu, and today we're going to be reacting to two horror stories by Lima. This one is the Hitchhiking Horror Story Animated. I'll leave this video and the other video that we're going to be reacting to in the description down below if you want to see without my reaction. And go support Lima. He does very good horror stories, well animated. What am I talking about? Very good animated. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for more videos that are coming up next. And enough of me talking, let's get started, shall we? Hitchhiking Horror Stories. Alright, let me turn up the volume for y'all.
3 months after I turned 16 in 2005, I got my first car, a 99 Toyota Camry.
That looked like a nice car.
On a warm Saturday night, when my friend Alex invited me over to one of his friend's big parties, I knew I wouldn't be in a condition to drive the Camry home afterward. So we carpooled with Alex's girlfriend, Brianna.
Okay.
We lived in the countryside of Virginia, meaning less big parties. Meaning when there was a big party, it was a huge deal and everyone would go.
Sorry about
We
that,
lived
I'm
about
cracking
5
my
to 10
knuckles right
minutes
now.
away from this kid's house. I knew where he lived as I was acquainted with him, but not exactly friends. The whole ride there, we took the same 2-lane highway
bother
type road
with storytelling.
through the woods, and this kid's house was actually on this road further down.
Okay.
At certain points on this road, there were a few houses on either side, and then it would just go back to being a long, empty highway again. The house was tiny, like a lot of houses around the area, but the party was held outside anyways, since its closest neighbors were relatively far away, and noise wasn't an issue.
That'll be a good
I'll
big
skip
house.
most of the party up until the point that Brianna, who was supposed to be our designated driver, had to suddenly leave for a small family emergency.
Okay.
Alex said it was fine and that we'd find a ride home. Well, fast
like,
forward
what?
another few hours and another few drinks, and I could barely even walk straight. I checked my watch, and it was like 2 in the morning.
Oh
I
no.
figured it was time to go.
2 in the morning?
I started looking for Alex, but I couldn't find him anywhere. In fact, it seemed like everybody I knew had already left. I could barely even think straight, but I was still furious at the fact that Alex could have actually left without me. I asked to use the party host's phone and dialed Alex's home number. After 2 tries, I gave up and then realized I shouldn't wake his family up. So, literally not knowing what else to do, I dizzily stepped out onto the road and began walking back home.
You better run or jog or
walk would take anywhere
borrow
from
someone's
half an
bike
hour
and
to an
then.
hour in my condition.
Oh god.
Maybe after 15 minutes of walking down the road, the slight shine of car headlights on the road was fading in from behind me. Jumping for joy inside, I lifted up my arm and stuck out my thumb. As the car neared, it slowed down and came to a stop right next to me. The man driving the 98 Ford Explorer rolled down
have
the
like a
window
weapon to
and
protect
asked,
you.
"Where are you headed?"
What the
I told
heck?
him my house was just down the road and beyond a right turn, probably slurring my words beyond comprehension. He chuckled and told me to hop in. I thanked him and joyously hopped into the truck. I was
don't like this
exhausted,
idea,
and I
man.
remember completely disregarding things the guy was
I'd
asking
rather
me
just
because I was so
walk.
close to just passing out. And that's what happened. The memories of being in that truck turned to a fog as I'm sure I passed out.
What happened? Oh no.
The next thing
Is
I
he
remember,
handcuffed?
I woke up still in the moving truck. The guy looked at me and left, but didn't say anything. I looked around and realized the road we were on wasn't familiar. I nervously asked, where are we going? He then said, "So what were you doing out this late anyway?" As the man answered my very straightforward question with another irrelevant question, the sobering reality of the situation hit me.
Think.
You can let me out anywhere, I told the man. The man responded with a firm no.
Okay.
I felt like throwing
Fight
up
or
as he
flight.
said that. No, I really actually felt like I was going to throw up. I started to gag as I felt more and more nauseous by the second. The man took his eyes off the road to look at me.
What?
And that's when I thought of the perfect distraction. I turned in his direction as I
He's like,
continued
whoa, wait,
to
hey,
gag,
hey.
and he started to kind of lean away and slow
He's
down
like,
the car.
wait, what are you doing? No, hey, hey.
Thankfully, I drank as much as I did because I finally threw up and made a point of doing it all over the man's lap. The man yelled in frustration and stopped the car, and that's when I took it upon myself to run for my life into the woods and duck behind a few bushes.
Good job, guy. Good job. Good job.
The man came following into the woods with a flashlight, and on 2 separate occasions, he shined the light straight over me without noticing. Eventually, I heard his footsteps walk even further into the woods past me.
Take his car.
That was when I ran back to his truck, but unfortunately, he was smart enough to lock it.
Dang.
By some miracle, I saw another car approaching in the distance, and I ran out into the middle of the street, waving my arms like a lunatic. The car tried to avoid me, but I wouldn't let it. They were forced to stop, and I yelled at them to help me before they came back. Once I told them that I was kidnapped by the man who was driving that Ford Explorer, the driver agreed to give me a lift. Not to the police station or anything, but to my house. I made it back safely, where I couldn't thank the driver enough. I immediately woke up my parents and told them. My dad wanted to know if I got his tag number, and then I felt like punching myself in the face.
Should have got the license plate number,
the
man.
simplest information from the guy that would have allowed me to actually properly report him. All I knew was that he drove a faded blue '99 Ford Explorer. I made sure to give Alex a piece of my mind, and part of me always held a grudge against him ever since, just for abandoning me at a party without telling me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in 4 years now, however, and this was actually the first time I thought about this incident for almost a year now. As time goes on, even the worst of memories may start to fade. But after writing this to share with the internet, it's once again fresh in my mind.
Dang. That was it? Oh, that was it. Well, you're gonna see a cut in this video, so I'm gonna start right now. Right. We're on the second and last video. I'll leave this one in the description down below if you want to see my reaction, and it's called the Hide and Seek Story Animated by Lima Arts. Let's get it started, shall we? Okay, sounds like a campfire going on, but alright. Sure taking long.
When I was a kid, my parents would sometimes bring me down to my aunt and uncle's place to stay for the weekend.
Okay.
Mainly, I'd spend time playing with my 2 cousins who were around the same age as me.
I don't think I would be good for playing
They lived on a
trees.
small farm with plenty of open space, and we could run around doing pretty much whatever we wanted.
That's a lot of space.
If we thought we could get away with it, the 3 of us would sometimes cross over to the neighboring farm about half a mile away.
Oh no.
It had been abandoned for decades, with a scattering of derelict buildings and other structures still standing on the property, just begging to be explored. This was, of course, a gold mine for 3 adventurous young boys such as ourselves, especially after my cousins told me stories about the deaths that took place in the house. It was pretty classic fare. A man goes crazy, axe murders his entire family, hangs himself, returns every night as an angry spirit looking for new victims. Good, grisly stuff. Even at that age, I knew they were probably making it up, or at least embellishing old rumors. But seeing as how the setting lent itself so well to such tales, I allowed myself to buy into it.
Dang.
One afternoon, we decided to play hide and seek. When it was my turn to hide, I ran off for a flimsy brown barn that had living quarters on top, and climbed the stairs looking for a good spot. There was still furniture inside, and personal belongings lay scattered across the floor. I maneuvered over broken dishes, tattered clothes, and crumbling books. Eventually,
It must be
coming
a
to
dirty
small
place
room
to
with
see
a
in
closet.
person, like...
Jackpot.
Oh.
There were even long black dresses still hanging on the rod that I could hide behind. I stepped inside and managed to force shut the folding door.
Force shut the door.
My only illumination was a slit of sunlight that shone through the crack in the door from a nearby window.
Dang.
I crouched down with knees tucked into chest and waited. Some time passed, and there was still no sign of my seekers. I waited some more, debating if and when I should give myself up. After nearly an hour, this was starting to get boring. My head drooped.
Yeah, it gets really boring if someone can't find you, because you'll be too good at that point.
It was pitch black.
I know no one could find me in
Drowsy
the
and
high
confused, I forgot for a minute where I was or what I had been doing.
Tell me he fell asleep.
As it came back to me, the realization that it was now nighttime and that I had been abandoned here filled me with sinking dread in the pit of my stomach. I tried to get up, but a sudden cramp in my calf kept me grounded.
Oh no, not the
I
cramps.
squirmed about, waiting for it to pass.
That shit, Charlie horse?
I heard a door
no.
slamming shut downstairs,
Oh.
and instantly froze.
What's that doll?
One of my cousins?
Nope, that
There
ain't no
was a
cousin.
brief period of silence.
I can't believe I'm
Then
spoiling this for
footsteps at
y'all.
the bottom of
Like
the
I said,
stairs. But
I got
not
the original
just
video link in the
footsteps,
description.
A thud too.
Because
After
I've seen
every
too many
other
horror
step,
movies. I know where this is gonna go.
These weren't the
A
footfalls
happy
of a
ending
child.
or a bad ending.
They were slow, heavy, deliberate.
But still, that
I
doll
held my
though.
breath, praying they
Why?
would go away. They did not. The noises continued to ascend.
You see that doll right there? Oh, it's looking. It looked like it's looking at us now. Oh god.
After
That
another
does not-
moment
that
of
look-
silence,
that does
the
not look
walking
human.
resumed. This time, along with a steady scraping sound, like something heavy being dragged across the floorboards.
Oh,
The
bro, you
footsteps
bet.
made their
You
way
might want to
through the
run.
debris and wandered aimlessly through the various rooms. I thought I could smell something faintly putrid.
Ooh,
The
blood.
constant scrape sent cold shivers coursing down my arms and back. My worst fears were realized when the steps reached the bedroom doorway.
Oh no.
They got closer and closer and finally stopped directly in front of the closet door. I couldn't see a
God.
thing. After an agonizing pause, they continued on, over to the other side of the room and out the doorway again.
No.
They faded away down the hallway.
Okay. This is your
I
chance
waited
to
for what
slowly
seemed
run.
like an eternity. There were no more sounds now, and I was trying to build up enough courage to open the door and flee. 3 things happened simultaneously just then. I was bombarded with a smell I can only describe as fresh roadkill.
Okay. Second.
I heard raspy breathing behind me in the dark closet, and I felt hot breath against the nape of my neck. That
And
was
3?
enough for me to hurtle myself out from the confines of that nightmare space, relying on memory and scant moonlight to navigate through the darkened
God,
house.
the doll.
All the while, I heard footsteps
Well, at least
chasing
you got
behind
out,
me,
that's all I can
closing
say.
in with terrifying speed.
How fast can you
It was a
run?
clumsy, torturous escape full of trips and bumps and blind stumbling. I never looked back. At least, not until I burst out the front door and into the country
Don't
night.
look back. Don't look
And when I
back.
did turn around, I saw absolutely nothing.
Okay.
There were no more footsteps and nobody was chasing me. That didn't stop me from running though, all the way back to my aunt and uncle's house. There was a police car in the driveway when I got back. My parents were there too.
They were
worried
mad.
sick. Everybody demanded to know where I'd been. Apparently,
that
when my cousins still
Dexter-
hadn't found me
no.
by evening,
Jimmy,
they
you're talking
returned
about
home
the
to
hair.
tell
It's
their
just
parents.
the hair.
Eventually, the police were
I know
called
that.
in and
I know that.
informed me
That's
that
an
they
Easter
had
egg right
already
there.
scoured every building on the farm.
That's my memory.
The insinuation that I was lying about my whereabouts didn't go unnoticed. None of it made any
It's like,
sense.
wow, you found out Easter
It
that quick?
wasn't
I'm like,
until
yes, I
years
did.
later that one of my
Yes,
cousins
I
filled in a
did.
final piece of the story. He and his brothers had spent hours searching for me like they said, but the part
What?
they didn't tell anyone was that they thought they spotted me in the window of the bedroom I was hiding in. And when they got closer, they saw that it wasn't me. A young boy neither of them recognized
Oh,
was
no.
smiling and waving down
No,
at them
thank you, I'm
and
good.
gesturing for them to come upstairs.
Nope.
That's when they ran back home.
Nope.
All this while I slept in the closet.
Well, that was a scary end, I guess. It was just terrifying. Well, that was the end of those 2 videos. I want y'all to see if y'all can get to that. You know the Dragon Ball video I posted, like, I don't know, like 2 days ago. Let's see if we can try to get that to 7 likes. We're very close. We're very close. And I'll see y'all later. Next time. Bye, guys.